So, Dutch, why don't you go ahead and tell us who you are?
Well, my name's Dutch, and I'm a Mr. Handyman around the homestead, and, I've got 2 kids that I take care of. And
Actually, that's what you do. Tell us who you are.
I enjoy doing this podcast, and I really enjoy grilling out on the weekends.
Once again, those are hobbies. Just tell us who you are.
I'm not really sure what you want from me here. Like, could you give me an example of what you want to hear? Like, what did you say when you asked this question?
You want Lou to tell you who you are.
I just want to give the right answer. That's all.
I don't know what the hell you want me to say. Oh, well, fortunately, neither of us have been through anger management. See what I did there?
Speak for yourself.
Which is the name of the... Oh. I stand corrected. Anger management, folks.
Well, by going through anger management, that just means I watched the movie.
Oh, of course.
Ipso facto.
That's a given.
Beep, boop, boop. Beep, bop, boop. Dr. Buddy Rydell showed me how to handle my anger.
This is another one where I haven't watched it in a while, but as soon as I did, I immediately remembered why I enjoyed the movie so much. It's another one of those movies that Adam Sandler did where it was like he's playing a somewhat normal character. Yeah. It's most of his later movies I feel kind of fall into that category. Same thing with like Big Daddy, which I want to say Big Daddy came out after this one because this one came out in 2003.
I think Big Daddy came out in like 2004.
Yeah, because he looks right around that same age when he did Big Daddy. Yeah. But
Adam Sandler also looks like the kind of guy that if he just shaved and kept his hair real short, like he has it in Big Daddy and has it in anger management, that he would looks the same age.
Yeah. I mean, he's definitely starting to age now, but he held on to his youthful appearance for a while.
That he did. I mean, it happens to all of us.
Speaking of which, I've got to give it to him. I don't know how much he was involved with casting, but in all of the movies that he's done where it shows him as a kid, they usually do a really good job about finding a kid who looks like it could have been him as a child.
Yeah.
And this movie was no exception. So it shows early 80s, if I had to guess.
Yeah, I would probably say that time frame.
So it shows him as a kid, and he's sitting on his front steps, doodling in a notebook.
It looks like a block party.
Yeah, there's a block party. Yes, in New York. And he's wearing an old school style, like long sleeve tee with Dukes of Hazzard printed on it. And then he looks over and he sees this girl doing hopscotch, I think.
Sarah Bowman, I think.
Sarah, yeah, Sarah, and she had a Chips t-shirt on, and then they both make mention of that, hey, Dave,
I like your Dukes of Hazzard shirt.
Oh, hey, Sarah, I like your Chips t-shirt.
Thanks.
He's like, heck of a party, right?
I was like, yeah,
except for Arnie Shankman being here.
Yeah, and then he's like, oh, but he just feels bad because his sister's like crazy and like trapped in her own head, and you just see this random girl sitting on a sidewalk in a straitjacket, which, I mean, I don't think that she would be in a straitjacket.
Not out in public like that.
No, I mean, like the loony bin, definitely.
Yes, she belongs in Arkham.
But I did like how you pointed out the little girl that plays like Sarah Bowman or whatever her name was. He was like, yeah, but she lives in her own head, and you just see her, and then she's like, yeah, whatever. Yeah,
she just shrugs it off like it's nothing. It's like, whatever.
It's the 80s, baby. All kinds of things were happening.
Do you want to play Truth or Dare? I'll go first.
This is like, truth.
Have you ever kissed anyone before?
I'll take a dare.
Your family doesn't count.
I'll take a dare.
I dare you to kiss me.
Is it what, right here?
Yeah. I want everybody to see that my first kiss was with you.
Yeah. And Shankman gets him.
Yeah.
Big time.
In the middle of in the middle of the kiss, he pulls his trousers down.
So I'm assuming that, and it wasn't even the kiss. It was like in the middle of him going in for the kiss. He never got the kiss.
That's true.
Whoa. But
he faked the kiss.
Yep.
He thinks about faking. I don't know where I am.
But no, he, yeah, so I'm assuming, the only thing I can assume is that the kid was just going commando, which you just can't do. I mean, because I highly doubt that that Shankman was able to grab his shorts and underwear at the same time and just yank them down.
Well, he was just wearing like those cotton shorts with the elastic band, so it's possible. And I want to say in that scene, because it shows his feet as the shorts have been pulled down, and I want to say that you can see underwear too.
Huh.
So I don't know. I'm pretty sure that was the intention, and so now his entire life he's been self-conscious about intimacy.
Yeah. And
obviously his own naked pelvic region.
That's a given.
Yes.
But nah, and then that plays off when he's going to Chicago, I think, in the very beginning for some type of meeting with his company, and his girlfriend dropped him off at the airport, and she walked him to the gate and everything, and she was like, oh, well, come on, give me a kiss goodbye. And then they kiss, and he just glances over, and he's like, that guy's looking at us.
It's like, how I feel about people watching us while we kiss.
Yeah, and then he's just sitting there, he's like, okay, buddy, here, take it easy, and just gives her a handshake.
Which is so awkward.
Yeah, I mean, I'd rather deal with the awkwardness of kissing Marisa Tomei, damn it.
Right?
God, bless it. And then not a handshake. Now you're just making it weird.
I know. But he's on the phone with his boss, I think his boss is on the plane at the time.
Yeah.
And he's talking about the speech. Yeah, his boss is saying, I hope you got that speech ready for me. And Buddy's like, yeah, I did. I pulled an all-nighter.
And then
he goes on this whole tangent about like, hey, I really appreciate you and giving me the opportunity to do this and come on this trip. He's like, no, that sounds great. I would love to go to a jazz club with you after the fact. All right, well, see you then.
Yep, he hung up on you, didn't he?
Yes, he did. You really got to stand up for yourself.
Yeah.
She's like, you're the one that came up with the chubby cat clothing line or whatever.
I know,
He's like,
so the dumbest idea ever.
Like, I wonder how they came up with that.
It made millions.
Like, this is what this character does for a living. He designs clothes for fat cats.
I do like that. What is the scene when Buddy has to do the 24-hour a day observation and everything, and they go to work. And when the first time when he's at work, he's showing him. He's like, "Oh yeah, So he's like, "You got all these clothing for dogs, but no one ever asked about cats." He's like, "And then you have fat cats like Meatball here." He was like, he's probably self-conscious about his weight. He was like, so we can hide it with the clothing, which you really can't. It just makes the cat look even fatter.
It does.
Than it already is. And he was like, oh, and then you put the little beret on.
He's like, you put on your little hat, and then you tie it at the bottom, and there goes your double chin.
Yeah, and then he sees the picture, and he's like, oh, who is this? And he's like, yeah, that's my girlfriend Linda. And he's like, I just assumed you were gay.
He's like,
with all this cat clothing stuff.
Toying with the notion that you were homosexual. But I like when Andrew walks in, like, this is your office? Yeah. And then I love the way that Buddy treats him the entire time that he's there.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't say anything to him.
No, he just knows that he's a piece of shit.
Yeah, basically.
And can't stand him.
Yeah, but even when Andrew leaves, he's like, well, nice meeting you or whatever. And then Buddy just flips him off. Yeah. But like one of the earlier scenes, Dave meets up with his girlfriend, Linda.
Yes.
Yes, I didn't want to do that again where we forget the characters' names after just having watched the movie. And Andrew, he rented out this whole sports bar for the Brown alum. And
yeah, there's only 2 people there.
Yeah.
It's just him and her because they're probably the only ones that went to Brown.
He's not super popular.
No, not at all.
You really want a guy who looks like he could satisfy a blue whale hanging out with your girlfriend.
I'm talking about the testicles with legs.
Oh, I didn't really notice. But yeah, Dave meets up with them, and then the two of them are having a conversation, and then he hugs her and everything. But every time he's around Linda, he makes it super awkward. Like, he's hung up on the fact that they dated like 15 years prior to this.
Yeah, and it's like, and I don't even want to. I mean, she kind of makes it sound like they never dated. Because even then he was just like, oh, well, if you'd given me a chance back then, like, oh, we could have been something. And she was like, I'm not going through this with you again. And she was like, and if you're going to make it weird, I'm leaving and I can't be your friend.
Yeah.
So I take it as they never dated. At least that's how I perceived it was. They were never an item. They were never a thing. But Adam Sandler's character, he has problems thinking he was like, no, I'm pretty sure that they did.
Yeah, and he was under the assumption that they slept together.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to tell what the dynamic of their relationship was.
Well, I'm going with what she said. I think that she said, she just kind of made it seem like, hey, look, you were creepy in college, made me really uncomfortable. I'll be friends with you, okay, but if you take it to like, oh, well, we need to be together, then I'm cutting off all ties with you.
Yeah, and it could be that Dave, Adam Sandler's character, Dave Buznik, he thinks it was more serious than it actually was.
Yeah.
Which is why he assumes that they slept together. And she's like, I told you, we never slept together.
Yeah. And then she's like, why is it huge? Because he caught a peek of it at a urinal.
While they're at this bar.
And it wasn't even a peek. It was like a full-on stare.
Oh, he was very obvious.
Yeah.
But he goes into the urinal, or he goes into the bathroom, and Andrew's already at the urinal. And then Dave was about to just turn back around and leave.
He's like,
hey,
Dave.
Oh, yeah. It's like, but
hey,
he
Andrew.
knew it was Dave before he even turned around.
All she had to do was just, maybe go to the sink and wash your hands or something.
Or use one of the stalls.
Yeah.
But no, he decides to stand at the only urinal that's like right next to him. And there's like these little mini TVs on the wall right in front of him.
Wow,
these guys are bass fishing, huh?
On TV, huh? While you pee.
Oh, look, he caught one. Yay, Marco.
Hello.
Yeah, Dave looks over at him and he's like, and then Andrew looks back at him and he's like, oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
So Dave was like, congratulations.
It's like, wow, that's a big one.
So I do have to give Adam Sandler props because in the beginning phases of this movie, in the earlier scenes, he does a great job of playing somebody who's really insecure.
Yes.
When he
probably took real life experiences. Because I think I've heard a lot of interviews with him where he was
like that,
really insecure. And I think he's even said, like, with his wife now, who, they've been married 20 years, probably.
I think they met. I want to say they met while filming Big Daddy, because she was one of the servers. She was one of the servers or waitresses at the one bar where the kid is like the goddamn Jets,
Yeah, but he's even said that, he's like, I don't know how I landed her. He's like, I'm not complaining. Yeah. But, so I just take that, he was probably really insecure.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. But, he was able to convey it on camera very well.
Come on, this is Hollywood, baby. We all fake.
Mm-hmm. Fake as shit. So every time he has a conversation with somebody that he's not comfortable talking about, he gets very quiet, almost like he's vocalizing his thoughts.
Right.
Congratulations.
Yeah. But I think even then, with him, it's kind of more, I don't want to say, I think with him, it's just kind of more along the lines of he wants to get information, but he wants to get it like privy, but then again, at the same time, he doesn't want said information. So he's just like, oh, well, you must have been really uncomfortable with the size of his, and then she was like, I don't know. I told you, I never saw it. And he was like, yeah, no. He's like, I'm sure you did. And she was like, no, we never dated like that. We never did anything. She's like, why is it huge? And he was
like, actually, no, it's the opposite.
Like,
it's he's kind of petite.
Yeah. It had a weird color to it.
It's like, well, I'm sure if you're in the locker room, you'd
be
doing all right.
Yeah. He's like, well, if there are 20 naked guys in a locker room, I'm in the top 18.
Yeah, but when he's saying that, he still sounds unconfident about the whole thing. I would be in the top 18.
Yeah.
But the other scene that I really have to give him credit for is when they're on the bridge heading to work.
Yeah.
And he said that he's flustered, and so Buddy, Jack Nicholson's character, pulls the e-brake. So they're stopped. What I have to guess is like the Brooklyn Bridge. I'm not sure.
Brooklyn or George Washington or something.
I've never been to New York City, so I don't know. But he's like, I need you to unfluster.
Yeah.
And then the way that he's able to portray like, look, there's 10,000 cars behind us. I gotta go. I gotta get back to work.
Yeah.
Like, come on, we gotta do this.
Well, I like the guy that even pulls over and he was like, and he was like, come on, dickwad, move it. And he was like, and then that's when Buddy loses it.
He's like, shut your pie hole. We're working here.
He's like, whoa, sorry. Drives off.
Yeah, Buddy gets out his little, I don't know, it was like a digital notepad or something. Or like a Palm Pilot. I don't know what was popular back then.
I think it was just a pad, like a pen and paper.
It could have been. But for some reason, my mind kept going to, this is some kind of digital notebook, like a PDA back then.
I like when Dave asked, he was like, "What is that good? Like, is that a good thing?" He's just writing frivolously.
Yeah, he's like, "We're gonna sing a song."
Yeah,
and Dave is like, "I don't feel like singing. I feel like I gotta go. I'm gonna go, and my boss is gonna kill me if I'm late." So he was able to really, really convey that sense of urgency. We've all been there. We've all been stuck in traffic. We've all been, late to work or at some kind of event, and you just get, oh God, that fight or flight feeling. And this is exactly where he was emotionally. But he pulls out the lyrics to what was it?
I Feel Pretty.
Yeah, what is it? That's not The Sound of Music, is it? That's
no, it's from West Side Story.
West Side Story. That's right.
And then they start singing that, and
while all these cars are passing by, honking or shouting obscenities at him.
But then,
bum.
But when he gets in, he just like goes straight to his boss's office and sets his notebook down, and he's just like, hey, and he was like, oh, he's like, you're late, Dave. He's like, yeah, I know, sorry, some trouble on the bridge and everything, traffic. And he was like, you don't need to apologize, you're always late. And he's like, actually, I'm sorry, I've never been late before. But then Buddy's like, hang on, time out. Let's just take a second here.
He's like, deflection, key. This kind of shit.
He was like, who the hell is this guy? And he was like,
I'm Dave's anger management coach.
He's like, you're in anger management? It's like he has no idea. Like he didn't know about the court dates. He didn't know about him getting arrested.
Remember that flight that I had to take to Chicago?
And we had to turn around. And he was like,
yeah, because there was some unruly passenger.
He was like, I was the unruly passenger.
He assaulted he's like assaulted a stewardess.
Yeah, he was like, he broke a stewardess's nose. And he was like, no, I broke the cocktail waitress's nose.
And then Frank just was like, what? Like, who is this guy that I've had working for me for 5 years? And the fact that Buddy keeps calling him Fran, how that gets under David's skin.
It's Frank!
Isn't Fran a woman's name?
He's like, yeah, typically.
He's like, biting his tongue. But that is one thing that I have. I cannot stand when people mispronounce people's names or when they just mispronounce words in general.
Yeah.
One of the posts on, the Dad Bod veteran.
Yes.
He had a post about some word that was mispronounced, and he was kind of calling out the question, like, what word bothers you when people don't pronounce it correctly? And I added a comment which has, I think, over 600 likes at this point.
Nice.
Which is like awesome. And mine, 3 of the worst ones for me: etc., espresso, and especially. Because people tend to pronounce them as if there's the X in them. And that's not the case. It's not espresso, it's espresso. It's not etc., it's et cetera. And it's not especially. but these people just constantly pronounce it that way. And I'm like, where do you get this from? So, no, I completely feel Dave's frustration in this when Buddy keeps saying Fran. It's Frank!
You're missing one fucking consonant.
But it's a crucial consonant, man.
It really ties the name together.
It does. But I like when Buddy grabs he pulls one of his golf clubs out. And Dave's trying to get him to stop. He's like, he doesn't like other people touching his golf clubs. And then he just slams it back down.
I love how he slams it back down. Because, I mean, it's just so stupid. I mean, you know, golf clubs. I mean, like, I play golf. My golf clubs aren't, like, prizes to where it's like, just don't touch that. Like, you know, so I think that just goes to show that Dave's boss is just that big of a prick. Mm-hmm. To where it's like, no, nobody can touch my golf clubs. Like, nobody can do anything. In all lessons, he probably has that kind of mentality of like, you're even lucky that I'm letting you come into my office and speak to me. That's how much I can't stand you. So I think along those lines that's the kind of, and I kind of see that guy like that in real life. I don't know if he is. He's probably incredibly nice. I think the only funny part I ever remember him in was a Scary Movie.
Oh, yeah. I was wondering because I know that I'd seen him in something else, but he's got one of those faces where you just assume he always plays an asshole.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of people that are typecast that way. So what favorite scene for you? I like to do this for each movie that we talk about. So what was your favorite scene from this?
Probably my favorite scene that really stands out to me is when he reconnects with Shankman at the Buddhist, at the monastery.
John C. Reilly making an appearance.
Yeah, and now he's like a monk who's just like, oh, you know, I'm like really trying to change my life and everything. And
I guess you could say I've made some drastic changes in my life.
But what's great about that is when he's sitting there talking about it, he's like, well, you know, I'm sure you're really sorry about when you pulled down my pants at that block party. And he was like, actually, not really. That was funny.
Actually, that was pretty funny.
Yeah. He was like, you should have seen your face. Like, oh.
Come on, Dave. Humor is the spice of life.
And then it's just like a full-on fist fight.
Yeah.
After that. But I mean, because I would kind of imagine that the monks would be like, Shankman, you're out.
Yeah.
Or Prama Banana, or whatever his name was.
Pana Kamanana.
No. I'm pretty sure they would have thrown him out because all of a sudden it's like, because he's the one that resorted to violence to begin with.
Right.
Because he was the one that pushed Dave and then pushed him again. So Dave just felt nothing but, all right, now I'm going to stick up for myself.
Yeah, I mean, Buddy's whole purpose for bringing him here was to confront him. And the fact that he was able to go through Dave's history and find out about this guy, Arnie Shankman, that used to torment him as a kid.
Yeah.
It's pretty impressive.
It is.
And the fact that he finds out where he lives now in a freaking monastery in the middle of nowhere, I mean, it's... I gotta give it to him. Yeah, gotta give it to him.
So, but that whole scene, but then all the monks turn on Dave and Buddy.
Yeah.
Which most likely would never happen.
No, they would have tried to stop the fight to begin with.
Yeah, and then
what did you say about Buddha? He says, how does a man who weighs over 600 pounds
try to teach other people about self-control,
about self-discipline? Yeah. Don't talk about my God.
Yeah. Keep my God's name out your mouth.
So for me, it's the first anger management session that Dave goes to.
That is classic. So,
and we did it in the intro, and, you know, it's not exactly like it was in the, you know, in this first section, in this scene.
Correct, because we're not that great and we don't have a script.
And our memory sucks. Hence why we never remember anybody's name. But, you know, from the get-go, he's sitting in a desk, which looks like one of the old school, like elementary school or high school desks that have the table attached to it. But he's scooted back away from the circle of everyone.
Yeah.
And
because Buddy told him, he was like, just give me one session and I'll sign your paper.
Yeah,
afterwards.
I can't just sign your paperwork.
Yeah.
He's like, I'll tell you what. Just sit through one session so I can say that I gave you a proper analysis.
He's like, okay, I can do that.
And then I can sign your paperwork or whatever. Because, Dave's whole thing is like, that whole flight was crazy. He's like, you know that I'm normal. I'm not an angry person. So, the fact that I even have to go to anger management is nuts.
Yeah. But, I mean, even then, it's like, Buddy, they met briefly. And if anything, Buddy was being the asshole on the plane to sit here and be like, oh, well, I'm not crazy. Be like, I can't make that analysis about you. You might be a fucking raving psychotic.
What you portray to the general public, especially on a flight, may be completely different than who you are at home. So you can't really base your analysis on that short of a meeting.
Right.
But the fact that they called it he assaulted a flight attendant by tapping her on the arm because he was trying to get a headset to watch this stupid movie that they had on.
That he didn't want to watch to begin with.
All right, this will be our poll question, which I probably should write it down. They have on the flight a movie playing. Is this an actual movie? And if so, what movie is it? That's going to be our poll question. So, keep that in mind.
I was thinking you were going in a different direction with the poll question.
No.
I thought it was going to be, what's your stance on fake breasts?
No. Breast implants.
Yeah.
Look at this actress here. But there's a lot to unpack with this initial session because you got Luis Guzman who's there. You've got John Turturro. Fantastic.
Yes.
Both of these actors in this, especially in this scene. One thing I noticed, Luis Guzman, he plays a gay guy, very flamboyant.
Yes.
And he's wearing this mesh kind of real see-through shirt.
Yeah,
but it doesn't even go down to his waist, so he's got his big belly hanging out.
Yeah, so it's like a half, it's a crop top.
Yeah, mesh
fishnet
shirt. Yeah. And the other thing I noticed is his facial hair. He's got a goatee, but it's shaved into a question mark.
I know. I thought that was odd.
There's a lot of stuff that happens where John Turturro's character, Chuck, he's commenting. There's two lovely ladies who are also part of this anger group, and they work in the adult film industry.
Yes.
And when they're telling their story of why they're in anger management, Chuck is just he's like, yeah, that's good. It's I like that. But you see Luis Guzman's character, who's Lou, which aptly named, keeps just giving him these looks, and it's just so subtle but so effective.
Yeah.
Because it's God, he's just so annoyed at everything that Chuck does because he thinks it's over the top. But when Lou is telling his story about why he's there, he's like, so I was talking to my boss, the other day, and he's saying, you never show up to work on time. And I was like, don't go there, okay? And then he just keeps going on and on. He's look, I said don't go there. And then out of nowhere, I black out. And then when I wake up, I'm standing over the top of it, and I'm just I told you not to go there. I told you not to go there. Then Buddy's like, and how do you think you handled that?
He's like, not very well.
It's not as good as I could have.
Yeah.
But you got Dave, who I guess he's trying to be funny because he feels awkward about even having to be part of this session here.
Right.
And when Buddy introduces him to the group, he's like, well, good news is I fed my anger monkey a banana this morning, so he's feeling a lot better.
And nobody laughs.
Nobody says anything.
He was like, and better news is you're not going to have to hear these lame jokes because I'm only here for this one session.
And then Buddy's like, Dave assaulted a flight attendant. And then the two girls, one of them's like, oh, I bet you beat her good.
It's like, no, I didn't beat anybody.
It's like, why don't you get closer to with the group or whatever?
No.
He's like, all right, Gina and what is the other one's name?
Stacy?
Stacy. Yeah. Why don't you tell Dave why you're here. He's like, I'm sure he'd love to hear it. Huh? Lord knows we all do. She's like, well, we both work in the adult film industry, and
she's like, she had a sex scene with Milo.
Gina had a sex scene with a Filipino guy named Milo.
And then she's like, and I'm okay with that because it was in the script.
Of course.
And then we invited Milo back to our place.
Because we like to have some variety.
Yeah. And then she's like, so we're going at it. And, I just look up and they're kissing.
They're on the mouth kissing, which totally goes against the code of ethics or whatever. With
the threesome ethics.
The threesome, yeah. And so she bit off my toe, and then Milo calls Stacy a crazy bitch or whatever. He's like, but nobody talks to my bitch that way.
Yeah.
So I stapled his lips shut, and that's why we're here.
It's too much to unpack in one sitting.
I know, but then Dave was like, well, we've all been there.
Yeah.
And then Gina's like, well, she's like, I like him. He's cute. Or he's funny. Not as funny as you, though. And then they both start making out. And then Buddy's like, why don't you, two walk it off or whatever. But Chuck is like, no, why don't just let it play out a little bit longer.
Yeah, just a little bit more. Just a little bit more.
But I love the different camera angles that they use. Like especially during this group setting. It's got to be hard to film this many people when you're trying to get reactions from so many different people at the same time. But you see them making out, and then the camera cuts kind of like between them, and you just see Chuck just staring at him, and he's just like, that's nice. And then Buddy finally gets them to stop, and he's like, oh. God, so much happens in this one scene, and it's so great. And the fact that Dave and Chuck end up being anger allies, it's like it couldn't have been a worse pairing.
No, it couldn't have. And I mean, I want to take it as like almost the very first night. Like as soon as he gets home from anger class or whatever, then all of a sudden Chuck's at his place and he was like, really lost it today. He was like, I got fired from my ice cream truck job.
No more fudgicles.
So they go out for some drinks and stuff, and you can tell that, Dave, like, he doesn't want to be there. It's like, keeps looking at his watch. He's like, what's with the watch? What, am I boring you? And he was like, no, we ordered the drinks like 15 minutes ago, and, I got to get back.
I really got to get back. He's like, excuse me, miss. He's like, what is it, slow and stupid waitress night?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'll be right with you, sir. And you'll recognize her from...
Mr. Deeds.
From Mr. Deeds, yeah.
But so a bar fight breaks out because he looks over and sees this blind man at the bar talking to someone else, and he was like, you see that?
He's like a big biker looking dude.
He's like, you see that? That guy.
He gave me a look.
Yeah, he gave me a look.
It's like, I didn't see him look at you.
Yeah, he's like, no, he totally gave me a look. He's like, yeah, but the one guy's blind, and he was like, I see what you're saying.
No, but before that, before he says that, he's like, and I'm pretty sure I heard him mutter something anti-Semitic.
He's like, what, are you Jewish?
He's like, I could be, but no, half Italian, half Irish, half Mexican.
Your math isn't mathing.
No.
But then, so he walks up, but I love his line because he smacks the biker dude on the head, and he's like, hey, what, you got a problem with guys with hair?
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah. Such a stupid line. So, I know they talk about at the end of the movie how much of this was a setup.
Yeah.
So you find out that, the flight attendant, the judge, the guy that sat in Dave's seat, they were all friends of Buddy's or associates of his that were in on it.
Possibly even former clients.
Right. But I feel like, what is there more that they don't even discuss? Like the fight at the bar.
There has to be.
Like the blind guy and the biker dude. I can't even see them being friends in real life. Really?
Yeah.
But, I mean, you never know.
I do like when he's in court after the bar fight because the old man is like hitting him with the cane. And so Dave finally turns around trying to take the cane away.
Just so he could stop getting hit with it. Yeah.
And, it kind of jerks back and hits that waitress in the face. And then he's in court again. And she's got 2 black eyes, a bandage over her nose. And the judge is like, so you really like beating up women, huh? And he was like, no, Your Honor. He's like, this was just something like a bar fight that got out of control, and I was just trying to stop. And then he was like, I was trying to take away.
I was being attacked. And,
I was trying to take away. And then the blind man stands up and he's like, you was trying to take away my cane.
Your Honor.
But then Kevin Nealon, being his attorney, is like, Your Honor, we don't even know how blind this man is. And just picks up a tennis ball from
out of
God
nowhere.
knows where.
Yeah.
And just throws it and hits the dude in the face. And he was like, okay.
He's like, you happy, wise ass? But I like when it shows the waitress. It's like the Band-Aid isn't even fully sticking to her nose. So it's like they just kind of half-assed it.
Yeah.
Like, well, she's only going to be on screen for like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
So. Couple more things, actually, from that first session is you got Nate, who you will recognize from pretty much every other Adam Sandler movie.
Yep.
He's usually cross-eyed. But at one point, you see him wearing the Sixers jersey.
Yeah.
So huge Sixers fan, and he's got a earbud in one ear. And Buddy calls him out on it.
Nate, what did I tell you that you probably shouldn't be listening to the game?
He's like, it's
while
just
we're in session.
Yeah, it's just an exhibition game or whatever.
Or he's like, no, it's just it's a like they were in the middle of the league or in the middle of the season. He was like, it's a mid-season game, so it's not even that important.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, look at that.
Iverson just missed a layup. That Sixers lose.
Yeah,
no big deal.
No big deal.
He's like, the anger shorts are swimming in my head. You gotta dunk that shit. You gotta dunk that shit.
Yeah. And then Buddy gets up and he's like, remember Goose Fraba. Goose Fraba.
Goose blah blah.
No, not Goose blah blah. Goose Fraba.
Goose Fraba.
Right. Goose Fraba.
Goose Fraba.
There. How do you feel?
Better. So there was that, and then there was the John Turturro gets up because they were all laughing at something.
Oh, because he impregnated his aunt.
Oh yeah, Lou was calling him out on that. Well, at least I didn't get my aunt pregnant. And then
everybody
Dave,
just laughs.
Yeah,
but
including
Dave.
Dave.
Yeah, Dave chimes in. I mean, it's a funny statement.
So Chuck looks over at Dave. It's like, what's like something funny, Dave?
It's like I was just laughing with you.
Well,
like, I'm
not laughing. But yeah, Chuck gets up and he acts like he's gonna attack him. He's like, you think you're better than me or whatever.
Yeah.
You can't cop to your rage and all this shit. And then Buddy's trying to de-escalate the situation, and then Chuck goes to hit Dave.
Yeah.
But he stops himself 1 inch from his face,
Yeah.
and he's like, Goose Fraba. And then he circles his fist and then points at Dave, Goose Fraba. He doesn't even do it proper.
No.
He just does it. He just all quick. But then they applaud him like he accomplished something.
Yeah. I do like when Lou said, he was like, I do have a question. He was like, how come Chuck is allowed to smoke in here? And then Chuck's like, because I do what I want. It's like, that's just his answer.
How come Chuck feels that he has he's able to smoke?
Because I do what I want, and I don't care.
I do what I want. Guys, I do like when Chuck is on his front porch, on Dave's front porch, and he's talking about, you got to get down here, man. He's like, there's something, wolves are going to get me.
But you come to find out, like you were just saying a few minutes ago, that the entire thing is planned out. And basically, Linda found Buddy Rydell first and put Buddy Rydell in Dave's life. Basically to say, look, he's having a hard time because he can't deal with his anger healthy. Because there are healthy ways to deal with anger. And he doesn't do it. He suppresses all of his rage and basically makes it look like, you're right, this was all my fault. I'm sorry, and then just kind of it's almost like what Dwayne Johnson said in Central Intelligence. He was like, I took all those feelings and I just pushed them deep.
I just balled them up
deep
and
down.
just pushed them.
And then forgot about it.
Yeah.
And then Calvin in Central Intelligence is like, man, that ain't healthy.
Yeah. See, I get the impression that Linda didn't feel like Buddy,
Dave.
that Dave had anger issues, but he had problems with his emotions in general, and she felt like Buddy would be able to help him with that. So maybe she didn't perceive it as anger per se,
Yeah.
but definitely it's something with his emotions that he let people walk all over him. You know, and that's kind of been the trend his entire life.
And that's all she ever says throughout the whole thing. Like, you know, there are multiple times she brings up, she was like, you've been doing your boss's job for the past 5 years. If anything, you should be his boss. Mm-hmm. And then when he finally shows up with the catalog that his boss has been asking for repeatedly and throws it down, he's like, here you go. And it's just goofy ass pictures of him with this fat cat. And he's like, what the hell is this? And he was like, oh, it was your idea to come up with the cat clothing line, the husky cat clothing line anyway. He's like, I figured you want your face in there.
Once Dave starts gaining his confidence, this was one of his responses to it.
Yeah.
He like photoshops his boss's head on these really sexualized images with him and a cat. So there's one like a bathtub where they're both like drinking wine.
Yeah.
The other one is like he's making out with the cat. They got their tongues touching. It was very awkward.
Yeah.
And
but then Andrew shows up and he was like, hey,
Frank, can I have 2 couches?
Yeah, he goes, because if I have friends over, like, I just want them to know they all have a place to sit. And he was like, wait, he's getting an office? And he was like, yeah. He was like, yeah, I got that associate executive marketing position.
He hired me for that creative executive position.
Yeah, and then he was like, you mean the position that I was promised? And then, you know, it kind of escalates from there.
Well, Frank is like, well, he earned it.
But you never see Andrew really do anything to earn anything.
Anything. Ever. No, I think it's just because his dad is friends with Frank.
Yeah.
So I think he probably got the position because of that.
Yeah, and then I can't remember what he was saying, but Dave just decks him. Like, doesn't even look at him either. Like, he's still maintaining eye contact with Frank.
So and
just throws a punch behind him and knocks him out.
Yeah, because he's like, so instead of hiring me to do the job that I've been trying out for the past 5 years, you hired the biggest dick in the world. And
he's like, well, definitely
Andrew,
not the biggest dick, but the biggest dick in this room.
Yeah, and that's when he punches behind him, just blind punches him, which he wasn't even near close enough to hit him in the face.
No.
But it still looks funny from that angle.
It does.
And then I think in that same scene is when Dave grabs a golf club.
Yeah.
And then he hits a lamp with it.
I do like his line, though, because he was like, look, he was like, now, when I get out of prison in 2 to 5 years, I'm going to be getting the job that Andrew just resigned from. And then Frank's like, yeah, okay, you got it. And he's like, great, thanks.
And then he steps on Andrew's face on the way out. But I like what he says after he hits the lamp with the golf club. He's like, see, I like golf too. You should take me with you sometime. Oh, there's the scene with Heather Graham.
Oh, God, she is so hot.
Yeah, so Dave trying to be funny because I think Buddy was taking a shower and he gets a phone call from a doctor's office or a hospital or something.
No, he got it from his assistant. It was Buddy's assistant. And she was like, oh, this is his assistant. We just want him to know his mom went into the hospital to have a minor surgery. She's going to be fine.
She'll be out in a couple days.
Yeah, she'll be out in 2 days. And then he sees it as his chance to be like, oh, I can get rid of this guy.
This is the opportunity for him to, because...
He tells him like his mom's dying.
Because of all these escalated situations that happen. First, you got the airplane, then you got the cocktail waitress, and and then the amount of anger management therapy that Dave has to endure just keeps growing and growing.
Right.
There's even that moment where Buddy is like, you know what, you're right. 20 hours of anger management would be a completely waste of time. Like it would be completely pointless. I'm going to recommend to the court that we double the amount. But then the cocktail waitress happens, and then he's like, all right, we need to do 30 days.
Yeah. And it's basically, I'm moving in with
bunkmates.
You
yeah,
right now.
So he shows up at Dave's door, and He's like, so yeah, for the amount of therapy that you're going to need, he's like, I need to surveil you basically for like 24/7 over the next like 30 days. So what better vantage point than bunkmates? So he's got this guy that's bringing in all of his crap, and then he gives Dave a voice recorder.
Yeah.
And he's like, this is a very therapeutic tool that'll help you out. He's like, I want you to record anytime you feel angry. So immediately Dave starts recording. I feel very angry right now because I only have one bed and no couch. But Buddy goes around his apartment and he's looking for things that could cause anger.
Yeah.
So he's going through his CD collection. He's like, I don't want you to listening to any kind of like angry music or whatever.
He's like, wait, the Carpenters are angry music? He's like, oh, come on,
Dave,
look at it.
Don't be naive.
Yeah. I know we've only just begun.
And then, oh, damn it. What was the other one?
I can't remember the other one. But he was like...
Songs of Madness and Obsession. So he just chucks them into the trash can and you hear him breaking. Yeah. He's like, come on, who's going to pay for that? And then he goes around just looking for other things. He's like, I want you to refrain from consuming anything that could cause anger. He talks about nicotine, alcohol.
Caffeine.
Crack cocaine.
Yeah.
I like the way he says that. But then he starts naming all this other random shit.
Like flim flams, flippity doos, gummy D's. Just this huge list.
And random crap. And then Dave's like, well, what about fiddle faddles?
He's like, only under my supervision. Yeah, only under my supervision.
And if you can't stop yourself from masturbating, I will ask you to refrain from doing so using pornography that depicts quote unquote angry sex. Being that said, he's like,
this has been a phenomenal episode,
he's
people.
Like, I'm a pretty good guy, and I think that we'll get along famously. But then when they get in a bed together, he's like, oh, by the way, like I like sleeping in the nude.
Yeah. Ugh.
Yeah. He takes off his underwear, and then he takes his shirt off, and he does this weird thing with his hands, like,
gotta wash it away.
And then he plops both arms next to his side at one time, and he does it so aggressively but so perfectly.
I know.
It's like you can't help but admire that. I don't know how many takes that would have taken, but it was funny nonetheless. But then he does this, and then he rolls over and puts his arm over Dave. Yeah. And then he farts, which I like. They cut away to like the overhead shot. He farts, and then he like looks under the covers. And he says, did you hear that frog?
It's like, nope.
But all the events of the morning, that following morning, because, the alarm goes off at like 6:30.
No, he's taking pictures of them at 6:30.
Oh, that's right. The alarm.
He's like, I don't have to be up until 7. He's like, no, you got to get up. You got to make me breakfast.
You got to make me breakfast, yeah. It's like, I want 2 eggs over easy, unfertilized. Wheat toast, dry. It's like the eggs are going to be unfertilized.
Yes.
Otherwise, you wouldn't be eating them.
No.
Here's my thing, and this is another thing that bothered me. It's like, okay, so he's forcing Dave to get up a half an hour before his usual time.
Right.
But they still end up being late to work.
Yep.
Why?
Because he's...
Why?
Because he's just, casually taking his time and everything, like not putting a rush on it, where it's like, but he's doing all this to teach Dave an important lesson.
He's like, you're not even dressed yet. But I like when he gives him his eggs, which are clearly overcooked.
Yeah.
And he takes the plate and he throws it up against the wall.
I said over easy. I was like, do you see how I handled that?
He's like,
Dave?
Why did I do that? Because I refused to spoon with you last night? But then he bends down and he's like cleaning up the broken glass and everything like that. He's like, something about being psycho, over easy. Yeah, he's out of control or whatever. He's like, don't sulk, Dave. Oh God, so many good moments there. But the Heather Graham scene, they're at that bar because, and I took the detour to get to where I was trying to get with the mother thing. But the whole reason why is because Buddy has to supervise him for 30 straight days.
Right.
So with his mom having surgery, he has no choice but to bring Dave up there with him.
Right.
But on the way, they stop and they go to this bar. I'm not sure exactly where they are.
Somewhere in Boston. I know that.
That would make sense because of the broad,
Yeah, because when they go back and Heather Graham, like, she's telling him, she was like, oh, I know I can stand to lose a couple pounds. And it's like, come on, Heather Graham, you don't need to lose nothing.
Nope.
Not even a bit.
Just fine.
But then when she even, like, pointed at her, like, her hip and, like, her back buttock, and she was like, no, I can see the goo
it's
there.
It's goo. He's like, no, you want to see goo? I'll whip my ass out. But the scene that leads up to, while they're still at the bar, Buddy's trying to get him to go up to her and just see if something happens. And his first attempt was a complete failure, just like preparation A through G.
Exactly.
And he just offers to buy her a drink. He's like, does it with complete lack of confidence.
Yeah.
He's like, can I buy you a drink? Well, I see that you already have one, but when that one's done, I can replace it for you. And she's just like, bite me. And he just goes back and sits next to Buddy. And he's like,
so what you did wrong there.
Yeah, basically. It's like you have zero confidence.
Yeah. And then he tells him exactly what to say and how to say it. But when he goes back over there,
this is another moment.
He still says it with no confidence at all. But then you find out later that, that Buddy hired her.
She's one of his former clients.
She's a former client. And so he hired her to do this and help him out to help gain his confidence. Where it's like, oh, okay, because he's sitting there like, I'm sorry about the remark I made earlier. It's just, I have trouble expressing my emotions when, and then he glances back at Buddy, who's got that creepy smile on his face.
Dude,
and
that's
like,
one of the most iconic scenes ever with Jack Nicholson.
But then he's just like, when I'm about to...
When I'm on the verge of...
exploding in my pants. And the two guys sitting there, they're just laughing. Like, and she's like,
you are too cute. Yeah. He's like, get the fuck out of here.
Oh, such a great scene, though.
Yeah, but Buddy ends up leaving because he takes the gesture that Dave makes. Says, all right, we're good to go.
Yeah, his gesture is, I can't believe that this fucking worked.
Yeah, your crazy ass line that you probably got from a porno flick.
Yeah, he's like, somehow it worked. But he was like, nah, you gave me the sign. I totally left.
Yeah.
It's like, no. It's like, I just can't believe that the line worked.
So she takes him back to her place until he can find Buddy.
Right.
And then, she's getting kind of flirty because she, kind of taking a liking to him. At least she's pretending to. But there's that whole conversation. He's like, yeah, one of my former boyfriends, he refused to sleep with me. And when I asked him why, he said because when the thought of you getting naked, it's like you're a porker or something like that. It's like, so
she takes off her clothes and she's in a bra and panties. And it's just
the
greatest scene.
Yeah.
In movie history.
As much as I would like to see you take that bra off because it represents a team that I've hated my entire life. I think you need to leave it on.
Yeah, I got a girlfriend. And she was like, oh, now that my clothes come off, you have a girlfriend?
When the thought of having sex comes up, all of a sudden you have a girlfriend.
Because I'm a porker.
Yeah. If you think I'm a porker, just say it. He's like, no, if anything, you're the anti-porker.
Yeah,
you could gain a few pounds.
Yeah. And she was like, oh, is this what you want, Dave?
She grabs a whole wad of chocolate cake. This is the funniest shit ever. She looks absolutely insane.
She does.
Because she just takes the bite of cake and with her mouth full and it's all in her teeth and everything. Is this better? If I put on a few pounds, do you think you could stifle your vomit long enough to have sex with me?
But then she throws him out and he was like, porker!
Yeah.
Fatty! It starts raining. He's like, no!
Oh my God. Token Mike hit and it was actually with my hat. Son of a bitch. I don't think you've done it once this episode.
I didn't do it last episode either.
Good for you.
Yep, I know.
You're really moving up in the world.
I know. I just give it time.
the last scene that I can really think of. Oh God, wow, it's a long one. Another long one. Sorry, folks. Good movie to talk about though is Galaxia.
Oh God, Galaxia. Woody Harrelson, you are a gem and a national treasure.
He is. He really is. Yeah, Buddy takes Dave to some random place. Why Dave is sitting in the back seat is completely beyond me.
Yeah, I have no idea.
I think it was because he was trying to get him to go to sleep or take a nap, just because he's been through a lot. He's like, well, you did have a rough night.
No, because they were having it was something about him being like, he was like, you have homophobic ideologies or something. So he's like, come on, let's go. So he takes him to like an area where men dress as women to please other men. And Galaxia is the one that they just happen to choose.
Galaxia walks around to the driver's side, and he's like, hello, boys, or whatever, and you immediately can tell that it's Woody.
Yeah.
Even just as a woman, there's no denying who it is.
Yeah, so he gets in the back. So he's like, Galaxia gets in the back seat, and he was like,
Buddy gives him $50. Here's $50. Just go in the back seat and just have a little chat.
Yeah. But the chat goes sideways, and and Galaxia is like, well, what's your name? And he's like, Melvin. He was like, his name's David. And he was like, Melvin's my Hebrew name.
Like, don't deflect, Dave.
He's like, oh, Hebrew Melvin. I'm Galaxia.
He's like, where are you from? Hebrew Melvin.
Brooklyn.
He's like I'm
small Bavarian village.
Called Lickensy-Dicken.
Yeah, she's like, do you want to go there? He's like, no, I prefer not to.
It's like, I go to a place called Ladies with No Dicks Town or something. I can't remember exactly what he says, but it was a good line.
But what's so great is like when he's getting out, he was like, okay, Galaxia. He was like, your services are no longer required. And then she's like, he just opens up the door and he's like, you guys are freaks.
But I like when Buddy chimes in and he's like, see, Dave has a problem with male intimacy.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, that's fine because I'm a lady. And then he like pulls up his skirt. He's like, oh, no, I'm not.
It's like, oh, yep, there he is.
And then puts his feet up on like the back of the seat, like all in like Buddy's face. And like, I'm dancing, dancing. And he's like twisting his nipples like, ah. Such a good scene.
Yes.
And I like how it makes an appearance later on in the movie at the Yankee game.
And he was like, Galaxia, come on. He's like, it's Gary.
Yeah.
And he's like, come on. I was like, I got to tell the woman I love not to marry some dude. And he's like, oh, it's all for love.
I can't stop love.
I can't stop love.
But I like when he first sees him, he's like, wait, where's your German accent? Yeah. What are you talking about? But yeah, I know this episode's run long, but this was another fun one. Two fun ones in a row.
I know.
That's a good sign. Do you have anything else? Any other honorable mentions?
No. I mean, nothing that's popping off to the top of my head. I did like at the Yankees game when Roger Clemente is just sitting there and he was like, they better hurry up and get this game going because my arm's starting to ice over. And then Derek Jeter's like, Goose Fraba.
He's like, you got to calm down. He's like, just calm. Goose Fraba, Goose Fraba.
And then he's like, oh, yeah. Goose Fraba.
Yeah.
So it's like everybody knows Buddy Rydell.
Yep.
So, but no, I mean, other than that, I got nothing.
Good deal. All right. Well, another good one. I don't think that's available to stream anywhere that I'm aware of. I happen to have the DVD, so that's how I watched it. But thanks for listening. And until next time. Quotable Podcast out.
You gotta dunk that shit. Goose Fraba. Goose Fraba.